Hey everybody, SCB American here, and today we're going to go over controls. So a lot of people ask me whether or not I use sticks or mouse and keys, or if I'm on PC. I get that pretty frequently, just flying around in different servers. I'm on Xbox, might catch hate for that, but it's what I've grown up with, I guess. But so we're gonna go over controls real fast because I know that the default controls for the helicopters are pretty garbage, at least in my perspective. And these are what I find works for me. Also, in a second, I'm going to show you guys, in case you haven't found it yet, how to fire the rockets and the helicopter. So I've got my collective set to my triggers. Just find it's more ergonomic. And like I said, these settings might not work for everybody, but I find they work for me. And you can port these over to PlayStation, just kind of whatever the buttons correlate to. I've never had a PlayStation, so I really can't tell you. I know they've got an X somewhere too, but it's not in the same spot. So I've got, like I said, my triggers for my up and down movement. Uh, Collective left and right would be my right stick. So that's just kind of rotating, or the sorry, not collective, anti-torque left and right. It's my right stick. So you can kind of rotate the helicopter itself left or right. The tilting of the helicopter itself forward and back, I have my left stick for that. Left stick, left and right is my cyclic left and right. So that's actually tilting your helicopter, not a horizontal spinning. Wheels brakes are stupid important on the Mi-8s, in case anybody hasn't found that out yet. If I save one helicopter load, that's going to be completely worth it. Always tap your brakes, especially when you turn off your helicopter. As soon as you turn off the engine to get out, tap your brakes because they'll unlock. I have my engine start. All this stuff is kind of self-explanatory. The stop engine one's kind of complicated, just so you don't do it on accident. I know that in different servers using flares and pulling up, you'll tap Y. So if you have the default settings, you'll just turn your helicopter off while you're flying, and that's always a bad time. But I hope this helps some people. Always go into a game master or like the training and fly around a little bit before you get a helicopter load full of people, because that's never a good time when you take out half your team trying to land on an objective. So just to show you guys kind of what all this looks like in flight. And don't be afraid to use your compass and everything. All your dials on this dash work. Also, over on that side, the co-pilot sometimes feels like they don't have a magnetic compass, and that one on the bottom left is the compass. It's just, it looks different. That's all. Also, just a quick tip for everybody. Um, this guy, keep it stowed until you're ready. Like, I know some people fly around with it just looking to get into the heat, but it takes out so much of your fucking periphery. You just can't even see nothing. It's not worth it. So anyway, now that we're up here, let's get a nice little hover going. So my left stick, if I tilt forward, tilts the helicopter forward. Back does the same. Now, some people have it set up where this is on the right stick, and that's completely cool. But the actual sway of the helicopter is also on my left stick. So all of my helicopter control, at least as far as vertical and horizontal movement is controlled by the left stick. So anything where I'm trying to get altitude, or I'm trying to bleed airspeed, or I'm trying to kill momentum, or whatever the case may be, it's done with my left stick for the most part. Now, your right stick is really all your tail rotor control, bringing you left and right. If I push up on it, it does nothing, so you're not going to put any weird inputs in. But really all I use that for is like when I'm going low, or you're trying to get real fancy with a turn, you can add that while you're going forward. But if you have a lot of forward momentum and you try to use that, this is me going full tilt to the left right now. So it's not going to do a whole lot. It's really for when you're at the low speed that it does anything. So now that we covered that, let's go to the armament on this bad boy. On the sides, we've got M60s. I believe the MI8 has the PKMs. Now, some modded servers you'll have like miniguns or like Dishkas, or there's one that I've got some. I don't know if I've got any clips uploaded, but I think I've got some clips with it. There's an MI8 like AC-130 on some of these servers with a big old MO, like a 105 coming out the back end. These rockets also, you have HEDP and HE. So what we'll like to do in servers is stagger load them, where you'll have both types of rockets and just load one of each on each side. So that way when you shoot, you have one of each impacting your target. Like it effectively cuts your shots in half, but since you're shooting two anyway, it doesn't really matter. Speaking of rockets, let's go ahead and show some of this destruction here. I believe we should be able to take out that house there. Rider. So as you can see, the rockets are completely effective at that. If you've got a couple buildings on a point where they're just holed up in, you can take them out as like a targeted airstrike pretty well. And that's with the HEs. The HEDPs, they're going to do the same like building damage from what I've found. But those guys, I feel like you want to use those on armor more than anything. So we're going to go over here real fast. Is how to get some decent landings, especially when you first start and trying to fly. Like you can do crazy cool stuff and just come in hot, but before you know how, you're just going to eat the dirt. You know what I mean? So get yourself in a game master. Get to this airfield. Is my biggest recommendation. And just find yourself little spots to land. You can go up and down the airfield to make sure you get all the way up to speed. That's what I started with doing. Because then you're going to have to figure out how to bleed that speed, because if you come in and try to land, you're just going to skid. So what I'm doing there is just popping up real fast with my left and right stick and cranking a hard left and bringing it down. But what you're going to have to do is when you come up, your helicopter's still spinning. So you're going to be gaining altitude when you pop up, right? So as you come up, you got to flare to bleed some of that altitude that you're trying to gain, or that your helicopter's trying to gain. It's all about momentum and basically like potential kinetic energy. Because as you're coming up, you're wanting to gain more energy toward the ground, but you want to make sure that you don't. Another thing is practice flying first person and third person. Because there's situations for both. Like right now, I'd prefer to be first person just because I have a better idea of where the ground is. One more quick little trick, topic, whatever. In vanilla servers or any servers that have AI, those guys are snipers with the RPGs. You could be flying this far out from that church we just took out way back over there and get sniped if you're flying in a straight line. So every couple seconds, make sure you take at least a little bit of evasive. It could be as easy as the old Family Guy Star Wars where you list lazily to the left or the right. But as long as you're doing something to evade that stuff, because I swear, you'll hear rockets come swinging by you from places miles away. It's wild. So just be wary of it. Always check your clearance when you go to land too. Like if you're in a confined space like this, make sure you don't clip rotors and everything. A big thing for beginners when you're doing that, going anywhere that's pretty closed in. Um, Let me do that same landing, but I'll show you what I mean. Hit your auto hover, and it'll kind of help you out a lot. Just keeps you really steady. But it also takes away a lot of your control. So once you get used to how to fly and everything, try to not use that as much for sure. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And hope you all help me on my road to 25 subs.